So when you see stuff, even though you're focusing on what we're calling, slow fashion, are you worried that you're still maybe adding to some of that problem because you're using the drop marketing, we'll call it, where you make it very special and exciting to have a certain clothing, come out at a certain time for a limited amount. So are you like really still kind of aware and keeping your eye on the fact that you're not adding to this because, clothing ends up somewhere and unfortunately it seems to be ending up on other countries' shores, which is really alarming.
Yeah, I think that's definitely in our mindset, and I think what you're saying is definitely right on the money. At the end of the day, we're not calling ourselves superheroes or someone that's erasing sustainability. We're just doing the best job we can to make clothing in the most sustainable way that we're able to right now. And as we continuously find better fabrics like the seaweed and the algae that you mentioned, that we're going to try to use that in the way that we best see fit. From coming from Bangladesh, I think that definitely let me see sort of the pollution. I think that there's a lot of pollution in the factories in Bangladesh, and in Bangladesh specifically, when I visit the factories, I could see them making for all the big brands like Gap, Guess, and I would see that they're just making thousands and thousands of pieces, so cheaply there. And then what they sell to you in the U.S. is just they mark it up at such a considerable price, and then a lot of it goes to waste. And I think what we try to do with the drop model is sort of shift the consumer mindset away from fast fashion, is that if you want to buy something, you need to wait for it. So you have to be intentional about it. It's shifting away from if I see this, I'm going to buy this right away. Well, with our drop model, you can't necessarily. You have to wait, and then you have to set a schedule, set a timer saying, I really want to buy this piece. It's going to be available at this time. I have to set a reminder to myself that I want to buy it. And if I don't, it's okay. I think we have to be okay with, not getting something with, I think the drop model is like, hey, I don't actually need this. It's just a piece of clothing. So like, even though, our company is trying to sell clothes, I think at the end of the day, like people shouldn't be upset if they didn't get something. And if you didn't buy something from us, that's okay too. It's just a piece of clothing, and you don't need it. So I think it's the mindset um, that really tries to move away from the fast fashion mindset of that I always need something, I need it now, I need over 100 pieces. Oh, there's a sale, let me get a bunch of stuff. So we try to focus and move the consumer mindset away from that sort of stuff and sort of to embrace that, hey, I don't need this, but it would be nice to have, and if I want it, I'll be intentional about it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of sales, I cannot stand the word sale because all I hear in my mind is that people are going to buy stuff they don't need or actually want simply because they're saving a couple bucks on it. So I think the whole sale model in the fashion industry should just be eliminated personally. But as with any business, when you're starting up, because you mentioned like, funding and how you were going to do that, how were you able then to launch this brand? Because you have this idea, you do some designs, you're getting some traction on Instagram. What was the next step to actually going in production then? Did you self-fund or did you reach out to third-party funding?
No, when we started out, I was 100% self funded. We didn't start out by having a factory in Portugal or Bangladesh or anywhere else. Everything we did is since we started with a low piece of quantity, I would buy blanks from another supplier who was also committed to creating sustainable blanks in the United States, and then we would go to a tailor at my college, our local college, and she would sew on these patches of the first design we made. So each design had a handmade sort of woven patch. And that's how we started out. And we started selling those on Instagram. And then how we sort of self-funded ourselves, the ones that we didn't sell, we just sell them to our friends at a discounted cost. So then we had a whole campus of all our friends wearing all our clothes. And then, yeah, so we started off self-funded in that regard. And we put all the money we made from selling that back into the business, and we just slowly grew over time. I don't think there's ever a moment when we saw a rapid growth or we had like a viral video that sort of skyrocketed our sales. We sort of just slowly grew over time, fostering community through social media, and and just went from there.
Yeah, and